Welcome to the first session for the paper title DTP Application and Internet Technologies for the BA Semester 4. Let's see the syllabus. The objective of this syllabus to make students aware to use the Google products for instant messaging, sharing documents and data, and the calendar activities in the group using standard formats. To make students enable to design and develop publishing as well as printing media concepts. Let's see the content unit wise. The unit 1 is introduction to the internet and its technology. Unit 2 is introduction to Google application. Unit 3 introduction to DTP and PageMaker, and unit 4 is advanced feature of PageMaker. Let's start with the first unit, which is introduction to internet and technologies. So before to start with the first unit of this syllabus, I'll just introduce myself Manali Brahmbhatt. I am from BCA department of St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad. Let's begin. So I'll start with what is internet. So the internet is global information network that connects millions of computers. It is growing exponentially and provide a unique information resource that global, diverse and current. Nowadays internet is necessary in our life. We also say that no one can live without internet. We are using internet in different sectors like education, business, e-governance, e-commerce, etc. So the internet is a vast network that connects the computers all over the world. Through the internet, people can share the information, communicate from anywhere with the internet connection. Internet is basically a network of network. Internet is a one kind of network. It is connected with different communication devices like computer, mobile, tabs, etc. In past, people were using internet as searching information, sending message or sharing data, but nowadays internet is working as a part of communication, research, navigation, social media, communication, etc. All those are the common use of internet. Internet is the tool that will take you beyond a telephone, fax and isolated computers. Internet employs a set of standardized protocol which allows computer and other device to communicate with each other. So nowadays the common use of internet are like browsing information, social media, creating awareness for the entertainment purpose like playing music, videos and movies, communicating with people all over the world, sharing the informations, as well as e-commerce and banking sector as well. So let's see how does the internet works. Internet is a global network of the computer. Each computer connect to the internet. It must have the unique address. Internet address are in the form of triple n dot triple n dot triple n. N is for infinite, right? So where n and n, so this triple n must be a number from 0 to 255, so it may be 1 or it may be 125. So this address is known as IP address. So it is in a form of 4 unique IP address sequence. So in the figure you can see that there are two networks, right? Let's say the two computers connected for communication through the internet, and both the computers having its own IP address. So the picture given in this slide is to illustrate the two computers connected to the internet. Your computer IP, where if the first computer is your computer IP address is 1.2.3.4, so it is like n.n.n.n, right? And the range of these numbers are between 0 to 255, so that is why there is n and n, the three characters of n. And other computer with IP address 5.6.7.8. The internet is represented as the abstract object in between. If you connect the internet through an internet service provider, you are usually assigned a temporary IP address for the duration of your dial-in session. If you connect to the internet from local area network, which is called LAN, your computer might have a permanent IP address, or it might obtain a temporary one from DHCP, which is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol Server. In any case, you are connected to the internet, so your computer has a unique IP address. So your computer is recognized with your IP address only to communicate with other computer. So that is how the internet works. Let's see about the history of internet. So you can see it starts its journey from 1950 and up to, you can say, in the 21st, up to the 21st century. So the history of the internet, so we can say the evaluation or the history of the internet. Many people think that the internet is a recent evolution, when in fact the essence of it has been around for over the quarter of century. The internet are formed by the global interconnection of hundreds of thousands or thousands of otherwise independent computers, communication entities, and the informations. The internet has no single inventor. Instead, it has evolved over of time. The internet got its start in the United States more than 50 years ago. The government weapon as a government weapon in the Cold War. Let's see internet in 1950s. The scientist and the researcher use it to communicate and share the data with one another through what was known as Arpanet, which is Defense Advanced Research Project Agency Network. This was in the response to the Soviet Union bombings and a need to create a communication network which was free from interface and disruption. Let's see internet in 1960. Internet in 1962, the scientist from MIT and the DARPA named JRC uh, Licklider proposed a galactic network of computer that could talk to one another. Such a network would enable a government leader to communicate even if the Soviet destroyed the telephone system. In 1965, another MIT scientist developed a way of sending information from one computer to another. That's called a packet switching. So basically, packet switching, which breaks the data into the small blocks, is called a packets before to sending the information to the destination. So that is why your whole data, your whole information divides into the small parts and that transform over the internet. Without packet switching, the government's computer network, now known as Arpanet, would have been just vulnerable to enemy attack as phone system. In 1969, Arpanet delivered its first message, a node to node communication from one computer to another, but it crashed the full network. The internet was yet to be born. In 1970s, till late 1970s, the ARPANET operated to provide the connection facility around the dozen of research sites. By the end of 1970, the computer scientist named Winton Cerf has begun to solve this problem by developing a way for all of the computer on all of the world's mini network to communicate with one another. He called his invention as Transmission Control Protocol, as TCP. The later he added the additional protocol is known as Internet Protocol. So we known this protocol as TCP/IP. The acronym we use to refer this today as TCP/IP. TCP/IP was described to be handshake between the computers all over the world, and it enable each computer to have its own identity. In 1980s, Surf protocol transformed the internet into the World Wide Network. Throughout the 1980s, researchers and scientists used it to send the file and data from one computer to another. However, this network was still between the scientist and researcher from the different universities and labs. In 1990s, the internet changed again. Tim Berners-Lee introduced the World Wide Web, an internet that was not simply a way to send a file from one place to another, but was itself a web of information that anyone on the internet could retrieve. The Berners-Lee created the first browser and the internet that we know today. In 1992, a group of students and the researcher at the University of the Illinois developed a sophisticated browser that they called Mosaic. It later became a Netscape navigator. The Mosaic offered a user-friendly way to search the web. It allowed the user to see the words and pictures on the same page for the first time and to navigate using the scroll bar and clickable link. So this is the transformation of the internet from 50s to 90s. That same year, Congress decided that the web could be a use for commercial purpose. As the result, the companies of kinds hurried to set up the website of their own, and e-commerce entrepreneurs began to use internet to sell their goods directly to the consumers. More recently, social networking sites like Facebook have become a popular way, a platform for the people of all ages to stay connected. And nowadays, for e-commerce, we people are likely to have the mobile application. So through our mobile, we can purchase the products, the services that we want. So nowadays, the websites and the applications are much more popular in recent years in the sector of e-commerce. So that is the history about the internet. I hope you people are getting the information about what is internet, the common use of internet, how the internet works, and the history of internet. Thanks for watching this. We'll meet soon in the next session.